Hi, my name's Steve Bicknell, and today I'd like to talk to you about HMRC's latest report on making tax digital and getting ready for it, which came out in April. And unfortunately, only 32% said that they were capable and ready for making tax digital or getting ready for making tax digital. This is making tax digital for income tax and self-assessment. ITSA is what it's known as for short. Now, this is going to be a particular issue for people like landlords and people like that, because they're going to be brought into this, and there are between 900,000 and 1.6 million landlords who are going to be part of this, because this new Making Tax Digital regime, which starts in less than 2 years, is going to require anybody with an income over £10,000 to report every quarter. The problem with that is that if you've got more than one income stream, you might have to report multiple times. So for example, if you've got self-employment, if you've got a partnership, if you've got income from furnished holiday lets, if you've got income from property rental, then you would end up doing 4 sets of reports. Now that's every quarter. And then of course we're actually turning one return into 6 returns a year. So we were doing self-assessments once a year. Now we're going to be doing one every quarter and a 5th one at the end of those periods for adjustments, and then a self-assessment return as well. So that's quite a few reports to do. So there's a fair amount of extra work, and most people don't sort of seem to realise that so far. The other problem with making tax digital, or the first problem for many people, is choosing the right software. We recommend the use of all the usual ones, Zero Sage, QuickBooks, but also Hammock is a great piece of software, particularly for landlords, very cheap and easy to use. It's designed for landlords. And of course, also, if you had a NatWest account, you might choose Free Agent, because that's free if you've got a NatWest account, and you can get a free NatWest account called Metal. Now, the other problems that you face as a landlord with making tax digital is, of course, that you may have jointly owned property. So obviously, one piece of software has to be used to collect the information, and then it has to be sent off in 2 directions or more for the multiple owners of the property. And you might have a Form 17 that changes the ownership during the year. You might also not decide initially whether you're going to use rent-a-room or whether you're going to use the property allowance. You might normally wait and see what your expenses might be. So there's an issue there. Now, some people have, including HMRC, have said that it's, we know from HMRC that you won't have to sign to say that each of these quarterly returns is 100% true and correct. Now, that's quite interesting, but the problem is that you still can't guess it, because of course there will be digital links back to the original transaction. So you do have to actually do something and actually collate that information and have a digital link back to the original information. The other problems that you will probably find is people with furnished holiday lets that might not qualify by the end of the period. So to qualify as a furnished holiday let, there are occupancy rules. You have to meet those requirements in order to qualify. And if you don't, then you might fall out of furnished holiday let regime, which obviously changes the way you account for things. For example, on things like interest. Landlords are subject to Section 24 interest restrictions. Furnished holiday lets aren't. Furnished holiday lets get capital allowances, and normal residential property doesn't. So there are a number of differences. So there are some potential awkward bits around that as well to consider. So I think there's quite a few issues here for HMRC to consider when they're bringing together making tax digital. It's not quite as easy as it might initially seem, but I think that the ultimate result of using software is going to be a great one, and everybody using software on a regular basis has got to be a positive thing. I think the getting there part is going to be extremely complicated, just on the few points we just raised here in terms of how to put things together. And also the numbers of extra returns will be quite a challenge to many people. But of course, your accountant will be ready to help you. So please do speak to us, or if you've got another accountant, speak to them, because now is the time to start preparing for this, because the change will be quite significant. And of course, we're going to a regime where you have to report 30 days after the end of the quarter, not in January of the following year or anything like that. So that's going to be quite a change here. So please do prepare for making tax digital now. Thanks.